Everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video we are looking at the DraftKings and Fanduel showdown picks for the Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Going through some mock lineup builds for the game tomorrow night. We'll be touching on some guys that look really good, some values, touch on some injuries. Let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it for the like buttons for me. Subscribe if you have not already. You can check out some other links in the description. So, first thing, elephant in the room is a Travis Kelce situation. He's listed as questionable heading into this game. However, I just don't think he will play. The Chiefs have so much on the line this season. Their hopes to make it and win another Super Bowl. I do not believe they're going to put their best offensive player besides Patrick Mahomes out there 2 days after injuring his knee. Looks like Vegas doesn't believe he's going to play either, as the spread has come down in this game from 6.5 down to 4.5. So I'm not expecting he'll play. So taking out Travis Kelce, this opens up a ton of targets for a team that's already kind of, their wide receiver situation is a little bit murky. Just focusing on the Chiefs right now. Take out Kelce. Tony, he's good to go for this one. He missed most of the preseason due to a knee injury. Hopefully he doesn't have any more injuries and he stays healthy for this year. He was pretty important for the Chiefs down the stretch last season. I like him at 7,000. He's going to get a good amount of targets. There are a lot of values that you can look to. I'm not that interested in Valdez-Scantling. Kind of know what to expect from him. Rather go with Sky Moore. The GM said that Sky Moore has earned a 3-down role this season, at least to start. Maybe if he struggles for a couple weeks, they'll kind of go back on that word. But it looks like, at least for this game against the Lions, who are not good against the pass and against the ground. Looking at last year, one of the worst teams in the league against both the pass and the rush. However, should be a high-scoring game. I like Sky Moore at $4,800. You have Rice. They said he's going to be more of a package player as well, a part-time player. He's 46. Rather go with Sky Moore than him, but in tournaments, Rice is probably not going to get a ton of love, so he makes sense if you're looking to play in some big dollar or in some GPPs with a ton of entrants. You got more value here. Noah Gray is probably going to step up in place of Travis Kelce if he is not able to suit up. Kind of, I think he's probably going to get enough ownership to where it's not like people are not going to be on him. People are going to be on him. I think he's a fine play. I like the guys even cheaper. You got two guys that could get way more opportunities. Take out Travis Kelce. The Chiefs have a lot of guys that they're going to use in package situations and part-time. So Justin Ross is a guy that sticks out. He has a ton of buzz heading into this season. People are all over him in best ball, trying to get him with one of their last picks. He had a pretty good preseason. I believe he got hurt too for a little bit of it, missed some time in the offseason, but looks like he's good to go. Made the roster. He's going to get opportunities, and the Chiefs could definitely decide to have, without Kelce, put Noah Gray there just to do more blocking and then use some of these other receivers to go with more 4-receiver sets. So I like Ross at $1,000, and then Justin Watson, they said they're going to look to use him just based on initial expectations. He's probably going to use him more than Rice and Ross. He's been there for a bit. He has some chemistry with Mahomes. So $200, you need a value. He is definitely that guy. And if everybody's going to be looking to Gray, you could possibly go to Blake Bell, but it's definitely just like dart throws. But that's what you need when you're competing against almost 300,000 people. On the Detroit Lions side, you have St. Brown, who I love. Lions don't have much of a really deep wide receiving core besides St. Brown. They brought back Marvin Jones, who's up there in age now, is not going to be as good as he was when his first stint with the Lions. He is going to be their second receiver. I'm not that interested in him at 62. The running backs are interesting. Gibbs is 82, Montgomery 66. They're probably going to split some carries. Montgomery has a higher rushing line heading into this one. Maybe they'll use him more, but it's a little bit more up in the air. I'd rather go with Pacheco than those two running backs. And then for values, Sam Laporta, rookie tight end. He's gotten a ton of buzz. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. We know Goff likes to throw to tight ends. back with his days with the Rams, and then last year with Hawkinson before they traded him. And then looking all the way down here, Reynolds going to be their third receiver, $2,800. He's fine, nothing too exciting. I'm not looking at either defense in this one. I think it's going to be high scoring, and that's it. You could punt with like Wright or Raymond if you wanted to. Looking at some potential builds here. We'll start one with St. Brown. We'll start one with Mahomes at captain. I think that's going to be one that a lot of people go to in cash games. Trying to get to St. Brown, definitely on the Lions side. He's my favorite guy to get to. Goff, try to get to 2 quarterbacks. There's enough value to make it work. Looking at some values on the Kansas City side, throwing Justin Watson at $200. You could, that leaves you with about $6,000 left. If you wanted to go with another piece on the Chiefs, see if we put in Tony, you can do that. You're left with 49. You can throw in Sky Moore. It's a 4-2 build here. If you're looking to try to make it even, which, I mean, you could, I think you're probably going to have to make some changes. Maybe you're not going to be able to get to Tony. Maybe you, instead of going to Watson, you put in like Laporta here. Do it with those guys that are going to get a lot of routes run and probably going to be opportunities for them both in red zone situations. Didn't touch on Jerick McKinnon, but I like him at 56. His receiving line on PrizePicks was 19.5, which is just looks really free. He had a huge second half of the season, getting a lot of targets, and they're probably going to continue using him a lot. Third down situations. He probably won't give you 10 touchdowns again this year, but I like him. And then you have 1,500. One way to be different on showdowns is to leave money on the table. You have a better chance of not having a lot of duplicates. Somebody might that with this approaching this type of build might take out Laporta and put in Scantling just so they use up their money, but it's not something that you need to do. Another potential build at captain. Let's try one. You can go all the way down here and punt with some of these value, but I don't think you really need to go super cheap. Let's do St. Brown at captain. He's 15-3 there. Definitely going to be looking to get to Mahomes. Definitely going to be looking to get to Jared Goff. You're left with $4,300. Throw in Sky Moore at $4,800. Now you have 41. If you're trying to put in Tony, you can do that. Now you have $1,300. Put in Ross. That looks pretty good. If you wanted to get to Gibbs, $8,200. Can't do anything else. You're gonna have to shave $100 if you wanted to get to Watson. So with that, you probably just could look to flip-flop, put in Goff at captain, put in St. Brown, and now you could throw in your Justin Watson here, and you get Gibbs, who don't really know what his role is going to be in the first game, but makes sense in this type of setting. And then one more we'll look at. Here we did one with Mahomes. We did one with Jared Goff. Let's go one with Tony at captain. I like him, especially if there's no Kelsey. Going to be looking to utilize him in red zone spots. You could get screen passes, even run one in. We did a build with Pacheco. Put him in at $6,800. Now we'll have $8,175. Mahomes, Goff leaves us with $5,550. Could go Montgomery. I mean, I like his price a little bit better than Gibbs, honestly. I like him more than Marvin Jones as well. If you wanted to go with both Chiefs running backs, that's definitely a way to be different. I don't think too many people will do that. Throw in Scantling or throw in Laporta. But if you're not trying to fade St. Brown, you put him in, and then you can throw in a Khalif Raymond or just go down all the way to Watson. If you put in Pacheco here, you might be able to pay up a little bit more. Put him in at 10-2. Put in Tony. Now you could get to Justin Ross at 1,000. So there's a lot of ways to go. If I'm looking at core pieces, I'm not sure this will be what I end up with at captain. But let's just say Mahomes, cash games, he's probably one that you want to try to get to. Him, I'm definitely looking to get to Jared Goff. I like to get to St. Brown. And then for some value pieces, looking at Watson a lot. And I'm looking at Justin Ross. They're both very cheap. I think they're going to get opportunities. And they just let you Go with other, let you pay up at some other spots and go with some more kind of guys that you know are going to get a lot of touches. But I think Watson will probably get a few targets. Ross will probably get a few targets. Going with Watson at just $200. So that's it for the DraftKings look. Let's look to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, you know the deal. They got just 5 positions instead of 6. Throwing in Patrick Mahomes, he's $18K. He's super expensive, but especially if you don't have Kelsey, that just takes another top dollar option off the board. You're going to be looking, everybody's going to be trying to get to Mahomes. Everybody's going to try to get to Jared Goff, but I like St. Brown for $13.5. St. Brown way more expensive. Not way more, but he's more expensive than Goff on DraftKings. He's $2K less on FanDuel. He looks great. He looks way better than $13,000 for David Montgomery. FanDuel has it flip-flopped. They have Gibbs at $11K, so I'm definitely liking him a lot more. Love Gibbs way more than Marvin Jones. Like him more than Scantling. Could even like him more than Tony at $95. Going below that, McKinnon looks fine at $9,000. And then you're getting to the value range with Sky Moore at $8K. FanDuel, you have some guys like Rice is $7K, Watson is $6K, Justin Ross is $55. So I'd rather take shots on Ross than looking at Watson or looking at Richie James for sure, or even Rice. So putting in these two guys leaves us with $9,500. Definitely going to be looking to get to Jahmyr Gibbs on FanDuel at that $11,000 price tag. Pacheco $11,500, it looks fine too, but we have $8,750. So we could throw in Jerick McKinnon here. And then we have $8,500. Throw in Sky Moore, throw in Riley Patterson. Definitely think that looks pretty appealing. On FanDuel, I don't think you need to go with both Mahomes and Goff. Now that you have St. Brown and Gibbs as 2 value pieces, very tough to get to all 3 of these guys plus Mahomes. It's impossible. So I like go with the guys that are cheaper with St. Brown and Gibbs. But if you're not feeling Gibbs, you could still go to Goff and go with these 3. You have $6,500 left, so with those, I would take a shot on Justin Ross or even Noah Gray at $55. Now you have $75. You have a lot of guys that could make it work, but I think Laporta at $65, skipped over him, but he looks great at that price. Now you even have $1,000 more. You could leave Ross there just to be different, or you could look to a Watson. But see if we keep Laporta in here. However, we switch to Gibbs at 11. Now we have 55. So if you take out Ross, now you could get to 11,000. You just miss out on Pacheco. So you're kind of left with that Tony Scantling range. I like Tony more. So now we have 1,500 left. Could eat it. Could upgrade Laporta to a Sky Moore. But I think Laporta at 65 is a pretty good value. But I just don't know if you need it. So on FanDuel, Patrick Mahomes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs are the 3 that I really like based on their price tags. And then if I'm looking at elsewhere, kind of mentioned some of those other opportunities. $8,750 is plenty of money left to spend. But that is what I got. It's kind of a look at this slate showdown, first showdown. Thank you for watching. Best of luck. If you want to join us, you can visit the website. Link is in the description. And I will catch you all next time.